Ms. Wood?
Your Honor, we're present in case State of Ohio versus Joseph Pastelacqua, case number 25 CR 630. The defendant is present today in court represented by attorney Jim Matthews. The defendant previously pled guilty to a lesser included offense of count 1, felony 4, failure to comply with an order of signal of a police officer, and count 2, aggravated possession of drugs, felony 5, with a forfeiture specification. This matter was then referred for a pre-sentence report and drug and alcohol and psych eval, and we're set for sentencing today. Thank you.
Mr. Pastelacqua is requesting community control, consistent throughout my interactions with him from early May, longer term type of treatment rather than just the jail treatment program, which he has done before in other outpatient programs. Consistent in wanting this, I've had conversations with both him and his grandfather. He's here. He indicates he is very much in need of treatment. He even outlined his relapse in his pre-sentence report and is hoping that the court will give him that opportunity.
What were you doing at the BP on April 29th?
Your Honor, should I stand?
Don't have to.
Okay. I was waiting there to, I was getting something to drink and I was on my way to go to my grandfather's, pick him up.
Where were you coming from?
I was coming from Wycliffe Area Plaza Motel I was staying at. I've been homeless for pretty much since I've been out.
So you were going from the Plaza, a known drug house, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And where were you picking up your grandfather? Why didn't you just go to Speedway at Euclid and Lloyd Road and get something to drink there?
I like the Polar Pops there better. I'm not trying to be funny, but...
You know what happens at the BP a lot, right? And the men are in suites. You know what goes on over there?
Oh, yeah, those hotels are bad news too as well, Your Honor.
Right.
I do know that.
My suspicion is that's why you were there.
I wouldn't be lying to you. I'm telling you right now that I was there just to get something to drink.
Hey, why were you driving your grandfather's car if you don't have a driver's license?
I shouldn't have been doing it. I'm definitely wrong for doing that, Your Honor.
I know that, but why were you doing it?
Because I didn't have a place to go and I needed a place to stay, and that's where I was staying. I was living in the car.
Well, you were staying at the Plaza, but why were you driving your grandfather's car?
So I could get from point A to point B.
Okay. Why didn't you get a license when you got out of prison?
I'll be honest with you, Your Honor. I had all the credentials and everything I needed. I lost my prison ID within my second week out. And with that being said, I've been to the Social Security office several times, and the BMV wasn't having it without me having an actual Social Security card. I went to Signature Health to try to get help with them, and they did what they could do as far as trying to get my Social Security card, and they sent an application. So on and off throughout my use and time, I was struggling with being able to overcome that barrier. I don't know what it is I got to do, what's wrong with my Social Security number. I've been in front of them. They told me that they were sending it to my grandfather's address. That was my proof of residence. And several times it's been turned down and we didn't get it. Even with Signature Health, they had to use a company credit card to get approval for them to have the Social Security card sent to them. And all we got was the application. So there's definitely a barrier there. If I wouldn't have lost my prison ID, I probably would have been just enough for me to be able to do that. But unfortunately, I did lose my prison ID. I had the paper ID because I had made a copy at Signature Health, but that wasn't good enough for the BMV.
What were you going to get from the BMV?
I was going to get, well, first, there's a lot of things I'm going to have to do to get my license back. So I would have to get first a state ID to then figure out what I got to do in order to make reinstatement plans as far as getting and going to like remedial courses and paying for all that. So those are things that I was going to have to overcome on top of being homeless. So I was just overwhelmed at that time. I mean, my grandfather's, I even put it on speaker phone and asked, I said, well, you guys can give us a paper ID and we have to use that paper ID until you send the ID in the mail but why can't I use the paper ID with all my other credentials in order for me to get a state ID? And they said, unfortunately, that's just the regulation. You can't do that.
I don't know how this conversation got started. What did you need a state ID for?
Well, I needed that in order to be able to go and be able to make sure that I can actually do the things I needed to do in order to get a license. I'm not going to be able to get a license and reinstate my license if I don't have the state ID. So that was my first step so I can be identified and not have a paper ID anymore.
When is all this shit gonna stop?
Your Honor,
You're 40 years old, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you've been doing this since you were like 15 or less than that. Why? I mean, I sent you to prison, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you take the Greyhound bus back from prison, and the first stop you get high.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why?
It's that stinking thinking.
Well, okay, but the stinking thinking has been going on for a quarter of a century.
Yeah, you're right.
I know I'm right. I can see I'm right.
Yes, Your Honor.
When's the last time you tried that?
What, try and do it on my own?
Uh-huh.
As soon as I got out of prison. I did try to do the right thing, but at the same time, like, obviously, I should have said no to smoking weed too. But
So what's your source of income?
right now, I have no source of income.
Did you work in the year that you were out of prison until you got caught here?
I tried to work. I didn't. I mean,
Where?
I worked with a buddy doing rehabbing houses, but other than that, not really. I always used to have a job. That's what another thing too. Like, I want to be able to get myself back to the point where I can actually go to work or figure out what I got to do in order to have an income.
Well, you know what you have to do to have an income. You got to get a job, right?
Yes, sir.
Because you worked as a CNC operator for a long time, didn't you?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
So why don't you do that?
I want to do that. I want to.
I know. Question one, why don't you do that?
Well,
Why didn't you get off the bus and go start applying for a job like that?
I need to address my drug and mental health issues, and that would be the first step back in the community, would be making sure I rebuild my resume so I can actually do that. The same desire, I have a lot of desire to do the right thing. I just got to be able to put myself and get the help that I need in order to be strong enough to be able to re-enter and actually do it.
See, the problem is, last time we gave you the help you needed, right? And you blew it off. In May of 22, you just blew it off.
I went back to being.
So we gave you that help you needed, and you said, screw it, I'd rather do the meth. So you telling me that doesn't mean anything. Why would that mean anything to me?
Because look, I'm right back at square one again. I understand that, but I also am asking for help in the treatment, and I know that I could prove that differently.
Yeah, well, why don't you help yourself?
I have a long ways to go, I know that.
Why don't you help yourself?
Well, I'm trying to help myself, that's why I'm asking for help. Helping myself was I wasn't helping myself. I need to address what I had to do in order to destroy myself too.
I know that. That's why we're here.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the psychological evaluation, and I reviewed the letter you sent me. Listen to you, listen to counsel, considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. I'm going to put you on community control for 5 years. 180 days in jail with credit for 114. The last 30 days you're going to be in the jail treatment program. You're going to complete it and follow all the recommendations. And this time I think you should sit there and actually listen instead of fumbling your thumbs and staring at the wall.
Yes, Your Honor.
After you complete that, you're going to go to NeoCap, complete that program, and follow all those recommendations. After that, you're going to go to a sober living facility for a minimum of 6 months, complete that. no drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. And you get another mental health evaluation. And you're going to follow all their recommendations. You're to go to only one doctor and one dentist and one pharmacy for any prescriptions that you get. You're going to take your medication as is prescribed. Going to obtain and maintain full-time employment. If you don't comply with the terms, then the state will file a motion to terminate your community control, and if I find you violated, then it's 30 months in prison. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you got what you wanted today. All the treatment you could handle. Problem solved, right?
I mean, it's gonna take me going to do all the treatment, taking it seriously and doing the right thing one day at a time. I know I definitely can do it. I'm getting too old for this. I need to be able to do the right thing, be able to be a father, and actually go and get a job.
Okay, so what you need to do is you need to stop talking and to start doing.
Yes,
Okay, because you can talk a good game, but you don't play a good game. Remaining charges are dismissed. Items subject to forfeiture are forfeited. Anything else, Ms. Wood?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Matthews?
No, Your Honor, thank you.